Welcome to another episode of Jazzy J Man coming at you live. Hey, look, today I'm going to talk about some of the poorest states in the United States and one of the reasons why they're still very, very poor. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you listen to the statistics about these states, and then I'll continue from there. Check this out.
The poorest states in the United States are those with the highest percentages of poverty, including Mississippi, has the lowest median household income in the country, at $52,719 in 2022. Mississippi's poverty rate is 17.8%, which is higher than the national average of 11.5%. Louisiana has a poverty rate of 18.65%. New Mexico has a poverty rate of 18.55%. West Virginia has a poverty rate of 17.1%. Kentucky has a poverty rate of 16.61%. Arkansas has a poverty rate of 16.08%. Alabama has a median household income of $59,674. Oklahoma has a median household income of $59,673. Tennessee has a median household income of $65,254. Arizona has a poverty rate of 12.5%. Many of these states are in the South, which has generally higher poverty rates. The South has large rural areas that are historically poorer than urban areas. These states also have low levels of education attainment and labor force participation.
Okay, now that you heard that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to compress this information because I don't have enough time to explain it all in detail. But I'm quite sure there's some of you who can read between the lines. But what I'm going to show you, what I'm going to make an attempt to show you, is to show you how racism works and why these people will continue to stay poor. During slavery, which started in 1619, I believe, during slavery, the only people that could vote was people that had land. So most of these landowners was rich. So then they had the poor white people to be the overseers over their land. So what I'm saying to you, when you hear people, when you hear these, especially these white people in some of these southern states, that's not even a border state, like Texas or you know places that are not border states, or California, or Arizona. When you hear them talking about all these people coming in, taking their jobs, that shit ain't never happened. They ain't never took their job. Before the Latinos really started working the fields over here, black people were doing it. When slavery first started, we was working in the fields, doing all the same shit that the Latinos and Hispanics are doing now. We was doing that same shit. If the truth is to be told, the white man ain't never worked hard at nothing. He just directed and got free labor. He never really done no damn work. So this myth that people are coming over here taking people's jobs is a damn lie. That's a lie. It's always been a lie, and it's always been a racist trope. You know. But see, in able to keep racism alive, you have to make somebody the boogeyman. And they make black people the boogeyman. We haven't done anything to these people, but they make us the boogeyman. Because that's how they can keep their white privilege going. But see, what's happening now, they got rid of affirmative action. But see, affirmative action never really helped black people. It helped the white woman more than it helped anybody. So now what do you have left? You have legacy, which is the same thing as fucking nepotism, if you ask me. You know, this country would never make everything merit based. Because if they made it merit based, a lot of white people would be at the very bottom. A lot of these people that have jobs and are in positions have these positions and jobs just merely because of their skin color. They're not qualified. The black woman is the most educated woman in the United States of America. Now, let me tell you how, let me show you what white oppression is. Most of my neighbors are white, and I love them. They're good people. And I think they love me too. I don't know. I think they do. But let me tell you this. I told one of my neighbors, you know, me and her, we was talking one day, and I told her, I said, you know, I said, if you fell in my yard or fell out here anywhere and got hurt, I said, I wouldn't be able to save you. She said, why, Jerry? I said, because if I had to give you mouth to mouth, by the time the police roll up on me trying to help you, they would shoot and kill me. Because my blackness is a threat to them. So I wouldn't be able to help you. That's racism in the reverse. That's oppression in the reverse. Donald Trump don't give a damn about poor white people. He don't give a damn about poor people, period. And the reason being, what people fail to understand, this man has been rich all his life. From the day he came out his mama's vagina, he's had money. He don't know what it is to be poor. So I ain't mad at him. That's why he do all this shit for the rich people. He don't know what it is to be poor. But he got you MAGA maggots running behind him, got you thinking that he care about you. But the only reason why you think that is because you're not educated. And he wants to keep it that way. That's why they want to get rid of the Department of Education and so on and so forth. You know, but see, by you voting for him, you think that that's hurting black people. You didn't hurt us. We already know what oppression is and racism is. We've been dealing with it ever since we've been here. You're the one that don't know what it is, but we know what it is. And as long as you keep voting against yourself, you're gonna be poor. Matter of fact, these poor uh, red states, damn near all of them are ran by Republicans. And most of the crime in America is occurring in red states as well. What I think should happen, since y'all so racist and don't think anybody should have anything, being that all the other states are paying for you to be able to survive because of their tax base, because you don't produce nothing in your states, I think we should stop sending you fucking money and let you fend for your goddamn self. That's what I fucking think. That's what I think, since you so racist. And boy, when y'all send all these Latinos back, you think the price of food is high now. You wait till these people leave and get deported. You are really gonna suffer. Because all the things that they was doing, you don't even know how to do. What you was doing was watching and supervising. You didn't learn shit. So we're gonna see what you gonna do. I know one thing. I know you ain't gonna go out there and work in them motherfucking fields. Oh, you ain't gonna do that shit. Even the poorest white person. You can't do it. Because you can't stay out there in that damn heat a long time because you don't have no melanin in your skin. And you end up with melanoma, skin cancers, racism, and all this hatred is hurting the entire country. Black people, we used to it. It don't even bother us no more. We used to it. You doing all the complaining, so it's hurting you. But the reason why it's hurting you, you can stop the hurting and the bleeding. You hurting yourself, and you can change it, and you can fix it. Thanks for listening to another episode of Jazzy J Man coming at you live. Peace, love, and give someone and yourself a hug. Thanks for listening.
To all these Trump supporters, you see that? There are no immigrants out here working. You can come get your job back, but you got to show up here at 4 in the morning and you got to leave at 8 o'clock at night, regardless of the weather, whether it's raining or if it's -2 degrees. You have to come out here. You voted for Trump, so these guys self-deported. So now you got your jobs back. So come out here, work. You don't get any health care insurance. You definitely are a 1099, so you have to take care of your own personal taxes. And most importantly, you only get paid $1 a bell, so you have to make 100 bells from Monday to Friday in order to actually meet whatever quota you got. And that's what, $500 right there?
Your biggest problem as a white man, young white man, or a young white boy in this country isn't anything to do with you personally getting demonized. Right now, whiteness as a concept, whiteness as a construct is getting interrogated a little bit. And people are freaking out because historically, traditionally, in the United States, you identify as white. If you have a skin complexion like me, that's what you identify as. The reason why young white people are having a bad time right now, particularly young white men, are having a very bad time right now is twofold. Number one, they're used to being up here and everybody else is down here. So the moment the playing field starts to level, it might feel like you're losing all of your rights and all of your privileges and all the things that you used to take advantage of. Number two, and this is the really important one, this is the reason why you don't have access to good jobs. It's the reason why you don't have a pension. It's the reason why you can't walk down the street and find a job that will put you in the middle class by the end of the week. It's capitalism. The rules have shifted. All those things are going away. All those things are getting eroded. So now you have an economy that doesn't function very well for most people. It functions very well for super rich people. It doesn't function well for most human beings. You have a multi-billionaire, billionaire class of people, like the wealthiest 1%, or even smaller than the 1%, who are no different at a functional level than killers and thieves. These are the people who run the health insurance companies, who deny everybody coverage. These are the people who steal your wages, and they steal way more than anybody breaking into a house and taking things. They're the thieves. They're the people taking money out of your pocket. They're the people who are making it that you don't have any economic prospects. And I got to tell you something, guys. You're really not helping yourself with the Manosphere or Fresh and Fit or all that other bullshit, because those guys are fucking cosplayers and they're taking from you too. At a personal level, I've really gotten tired at coming to this issue from a place of sympathy, because I feel like, how much explaining can you do? How much of it can you really do? And then I realized that the lack of me trying to explain anything to people, that gap is filled in by people like Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate and all those other people who have podcasts, and they're giving you probably the worst goddamn advice that you could ever possibly imagine as far as trying to interact with women, if you're interested in women, or dating or getting a job or any of that kind of stuff. You really need better role models. And I don't know where it's going to come from, because it took me a while when I was in my 20s to kind of find my footing economically, and I happen to be doing really well now. And I count my blessings every day. But it takes hard work, and it takes a lot of luck, particularly in this economy, because it's not set up to work for normal people. It really, truly isn't. And these issues are all intertwined. You don't have anything right now and you're losing, or you feel like you're losing something. Really, truly, you feel like you are losing something, because you are losing something. You're losing your economic stability that you've had since the country began, because the country was always very careful to make sure that its white peoples were generally doing a lot better than all the other people. But now we've taken all that down, at least on a legal basis. You cannot discriminate anymore, those types of things. And at the same time, we started pulling that economic security out from underneath the feet of white people. And that's a deadly, deadly combination, because the only thing that you have to lean back on is your whiteness. And it's not doing the same shit that it used to do for you. And it's making you do real goofy fucking shit. It's not immigrants' faults that you can't get a job. It's not women's fault that you can't get laid or find a girlfriend. There's really kind of a perfect storm going on for people of a certain age in this country. And it's really getting to a place, I don't know if we're going to even have a society that functions appropriately in the future, because all you're getting is bad advice. You're not being shown how to be a real man. A real man doesn't run around hating women and demeaning them. A real man doesn't go around blaming other people for their problems. A real man figures out how to stand up for themselves and stand up for people who are weaker than them. That's what a real man does. I really hope you find the true villain of this story a lot sooner than it's going to happen. I really hope that maybe this gets through to you and some other people who actually see it. I do. Because if we can get past this shit, this whiteness shit, we could actually have a real society in this country. We could actually take care of each other. And you could have all the things that you de facto want anyway, which is really just economic security, a chance to get ahead, a chance to live in a nice neighborhood, a chance to have children and maybe have them get a good education, provide housing for them, go on vacations, have a nice life. You're not going to get it by punching down. You got to figure out who the real enemy is.
Trump supporters keep messaging me that they can't wait to get America back. Back to what? Lynchings? Coat hanger abortions? Internment camps? Child labor? Barefoot and pregnant? Seriously? Either say what you mean or shut the hell up.
Here's a truth that often gets buried in the pages of history. A significant number of US presidents and founding fathers, the very men who shaped this nation, were deeply entwined with the institution of slavery. George Washington, the first president, owned over 300 slaves by the time of his death. Thomas Jefferson, the author of All Men Are Created Equal, owned over 600 throughout his life. James Madison, Andrew Jackson, James Monroe, the list goes on. These men weren't just leaders, they were slave owners, profiting from the labor and lives of others. Even those like Benjamin Franklin and John Jay, who later became abolitionists, owned slaves at some point. Their personal and economic interests were often tied to this brutal system, a reality we must confront. The founding fathers and early presidents didn't just inherit this system, they perpetuated it. Their wealth, power, and legacy were built on the backs of enslaved people. This isn't just history. It's a reflection of how deeply rooted slavery was in the very fabric of America. Let's set the record straight. The fight for freedom didn't start with them. It started in the fields, where enslaved people resisted, survived, and laid the groundwork for the ongoing struggle for justice. Follow to uncover more truths about the figures who shaped this nation and the complexities of our history that we can't afford to ignore.